Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we are doing one of my most favorite video types to film, and that is the quarterly flip through. This is the first quarter we need to flip through for 2025 in my reading journals, and I'm really excited to get into them. So I did film this a week ago, however I wasn't happy with the overall footage. It was actually quite long, so I'm going to just start by pulling one of these journals aside and we'll look straight into this one here first, which is my main reading journal of the year. And if you're new here, this is a book of spells by Archer and Olive. It's B5. I absolutely loved the design. It is partially the reason why I have the theme that I do for this year in this journal. It just all came together, and let's flip straight in. I am filming this at night, as you can tell, with the ring lights on, so I do apologize for the bit of glare that there may be on the table, and I hope you can see most of the pages without too much trouble. So the name of this book is A Compendium of Magic. I decided to name my book this year. I'm really happy with the overall theme. It's basically like a reference book for what the fantasy destinations we went to last year gave us the information of. That's the whole theme. And this is the first challenge I have in the front of this journal. It is the reading challenge, and as you can see, I have read a total of 33 books at the end of March. I've been very diligent to not use my journal until filming this for April, so everything is still set for March, which is a relief, but I'm really happy with the overall style of this page. Normally I do a different colour per month, but for this year I decided to just swap between two mild liners because it matched the colour scheme around the page, and I'm happy with that so far. And I'm averaging around 11 books per month, give or take, and I hope that that will continue throughout the rest of the year, as my goal is 150 books. Onto the bookshelfie, and admittedly this page is something that I am not enjoying this year. I feel like it's too basic. I'm grateful for how all the books are looking in their colour code. This is my star rating code, so I'm very happy with the colours I've chosen for the books this year, but I'm just not exactly vibing with the layout as much as I would like. For the last couple of years I've done this layout where it's just been really basic, just books, no decorative elements, because I read quite a lot and I wanted to just fit it all into as small of amount of pages as possible. But this year I do have a little bit more room because I've moved a page out of my monthlies, so I could have potentially done this a bit more decorative, and that is something that I'm definitely going to be looking into over 2026. I know it's a little bit early to be looking at trends now and thinking about how to improve on it for next year, but that's how I work. So yeah, I'm definitely hoping we can move on from this layout into something a little bit more decorative in the future. Otherwise it's very functional and it's working really well. Here is an extra shelf for if I go over 150. I'm not sure if I will. And here is the colour key here for the star ratings. I really like this page still because of the little fox, and just the setup was really cute. On this side here is the day's red pixel, one of my favourite things to track and have a visual of in my journals. And on this side here is the day's red pixel, so that's where it gets its title from. It is color coded up here, and I really like seeing the trends that are coming through and on what days I tend to read, the amount of books that I do. And on this side here, this is something new to me this year. I really wanted to track on the days that I finished a book, so this one's really been quite interesting to me. Obviously I'm going to finish a book most days on the 9th, simply because that is the last day of book club, but it's interesting to see that I have also finished a book every day on the 13th, and I think the 23rd is starting to become a little bit of a trend as well. So yeah, really intrigued by this, and I cannot wait to see these two pixel graphs at the end of the next quarter to see how the trends are forming. Onto another challenge page here, we've got Read the Rainbow and Booktris. So on this side here, I am just choosing covers without genre this time around. Over the last couple of years I've gone only fantasy and then only romance, so this year I've just gone with whatever fits the bill. I do think I'm going to take this cover off. I do think it's a little bit cheeky. This was grey and it was for either grey or white covers, and I know that there's a lot of grey on the Onyx Storm cover, but if I read something that's just a plain white book, I think I might swap that out in the future, but I only need an orange one to complete this, so we'll see how that goes. This one here, the Booktris, is a new challenge for me this year, and I know that playing Tetris is a game where you try to stack things up and see how far you can get before you run out of space, and that's how this is probably supposed to be played, but I really like the idea that I can track every single book I read on this, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So in the future I would really like to see how far I can get up this Booktris little graph, rather than seeing how far I can play the game. I'm just filling it in for every single book, so I'm really enjoying this. This is a lot of fun. And then another two trackers or challenges for the year are the A to Z challenge and a reading bingo. The A to Z challenge is not going extremely well. I would like to be further ahead than I am now, but I keep reading books with the same lettered titles at the start. So A, O, S, T and W have been repeat offenders, constantly reading books with them that's starting with that. And I know T and S are generally quite popular, and A as well, because they tend to be quite popular ways to start a title of a book, especially with fantasy, and that's what I tend to read. But I would really like to see a little bit more effort in the next quarter on this. I will try and give myself a bit more of a focus to read books that have different titles. And then the reading bingo side, I set this up because the last couple of reading bingos I've done a printout and done other people's prompts, which is fine, and I've done not too bad with them, but this time around I decided to make it a bit more personal. I did use some prompts from some games that I played last year that I enjoyed, but for the majority of the prompts I went with ones that I knew that I could fulfill at some point, and the idea was to just have fun with it. It wasn't to make it like a super big challenge, and as you can see I've done quite well already. There's only a few left to go. I do think I'm going to have a lot of hardship trying to finish outside of a normal audience pick. I'm probably going to have to pick up a middle grade book for this, and outside of a normal genre pick. Yeah, well, that might be a little bit hard. I did read a book recently that was dystopian, but it's also romantasy, so I don't know. I don't know if I could possibly use that because I don't read dystopian very often, but I'm also going to be helping my sister with some studying with a non-fiction book that we've picked up from the library, so since I'll be reading that with her, that might be the one that I can use for that. But otherwise this has been really fun, and I can't see why it wouldn't be finished by June, by the end of June. The last two challenges at the front of the book are the 12 friends with 12 books and the readathons, the yearly readathons that I've been doing. So on this side here is a new thing for me. I've put off doing this over the last few years simply because I know that I'm picky and I don't want to offend my friends by DNFing all the books that they enjoy. That sounded really egotistical, and I hope that you don't take me that way. It just simply is. I'm really critical as a reader. And unfortunately that has happened. I have DNF'd 2 books already, and I haven't had a good time with one of them, and obviously The Rebel Witch was something that I also really wanted to read, so that worked out well. I'm hopeful that some of these will be really good and surprise me and I can continue on enjoying this, but I don't think I will be doing this challenge next year. I might ask friends to pick 12 books off my TBR instead, because then it might suit me a little bit better. And the idea is to find books that go out of your comfort zone, right? Or you read something that you might have not picked up beforehand, but I feel like I am a creature of comfort, and so these books have just not been enjoyable for me, and I feel bad for that. So I don't want to set myself up for failure for next year, so maybe we won't do this one again. On this side here, I have several readathons that I've either decided to participate in or one that I created for myself that's not going very well. So the Buzzword Reading Challenge, whilst I've marked off January, I have had a really hard time finding some books to go for the other themes. So over April, my goal has been to try and work on these, and in some cases I've managed to complete books, but other times I've picked up books and had to DNF them because I didn't enjoy them and they were for that theme. So I am struggling with some of these to get the answers done, but I am enjoying it, and I do think if I get it done by the end of the year it'll be fine. So yeah, Buzzword's not going very well because I haven't read a book with a water related word in the title yet, and I DNF'd the book that had thing in it. So I actually had two books and I didn't like either. So that one's interesting. I'm going to have to try and find something for it. But I am enjoying the other ones that I have. I've got Adventures in Eldia by Book Roast. That one's been fun. I think I have completed some more, but I haven't filled it in simply because I'm leaving it for that first quarter. And then the Easy Reading Challenge is also something that I picked up this year, and I am, I think, up to date. I might have that one, but I'm not sure. So yeah, these are all challenges that I'm having fun with and I will be catching up with over April, so we'll see how this page changes in the next quarter. Unfortunately, the Kindle takedown I haven't even started this year. My goal is to remove the excess books from my Kindle, and yeah, it's not exactly going as well as I would like it to. Hopefully I can pick up some Kindle books soon. And then the last two pages at the front here that aren't challenges, this is my monthly theme tracker. I'm really enjoying having this in my book again. So I've got the first three themes of this book. So we had wands and amulets, crowns, and then animal forms and familiars. So those were the three themes for those 3 months, and I will continue to fill this in as we go. And then on this side is my book club reads, and I'm very fortunate to, well, I'm very thrilled to say that I have started to use this page, because last year, if you were here last year, this page did not go very well. So I'm glad to see it has books on it. I'm annoyed that I didn't center it. I don't know why I put it so close there. I thought maybe I could fit 4 on the shelf across, but the spacing I did was wrong. So yeah, we've got January through to March. Unfortunately, there was a read for April, but we didn't choose to do it. None of us read it. So, well, actually one person read it, but I don't think she read it for book club. Anyway, yeah, we decided not to read it, so we'll be back to it next month in May. So this will, I'm not sure if I'm going to put the cover in or not for April yet, but overall it's tracking what it needs to, and I'm happy with it. We're now into the monthlies, and this is the first cover page, and this is what I have continued throughout each monthly and for the rest of the year. So as you can see, an ornate border, the chapter title, and reference information. So I really like this theme for the whole year, and whilst it's challenging, I am enjoying setting it up. So this was my January theme, and the most I've learnt from this book so far is this page here. I absolutely despise it. This was my first year having a larger calendar space, which I do like, but I didn't know how to track things. I tried using somebody else's method and it wasn't going very well for me. I also have a new section here called Upcoming, where I'm tracking the books that have either are coming out, being released for that I might want to purchase, or that I have read the arc for and I need to know the date. So I was trying to do that there, but I didn't break it up enough. So yeah, definitely needed some work, but that's what the first month is all about. It's experimenting with your new layouts. And then there's always a readathon page. This month for January was the TBR-a-thon. And then my functional pages, so I've just got my tracking for my TBR, my prompt game, arcs and book haul were moved to this page as opposed to the calendar space, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm enjoying having them here. And then the reading log is pretty much like last year's reading log. I'm very happy with it. This one has a little tip in because I read 13 books, and it's got all the information on it. I really like a visual guide that it is, also the information that it has, so I'm really happy with this page, and it continues to be the same throughout every month. Here is February, and again it's just that same format throughout. I did trial a different way of using the calendar and it worked a little bit better. It still wasn't quite where I wanted to be, but I liked it. I didn't actually use the upcoming section, and I'm wondering if it's something that will last all year long. I have been toying with the idea of maybe putting a quote here instead, but we'll see how that goes. In February I participated in Romantasy-a-thon, so that is the readathon page. I tried a vertical layout for my functional stuff, but I didn't really enjoy that layout, and what is that? There we go. Admittedly, whilst I really like the metallic pen in person, it is hard to film, so I do apologise for that. And again, the reading log looks as such. Moving on into March, again, very similar. I like to be consistent as much as I can be. Here is the March calendar, and again, very happy with how it's looking. Still trying to figure out what that final look might be, but it's working, and I'm liking my little grid down here. And I did use the calendar, and I tried a little bit more to separate by arc versus the books that I might want to buy. Here is the readathon page. I participated in Realmathon, and every year I never finish it, so I don't think I'll be continuing on with this one, unfortunately. And then our functional page is the TBR and prompts again, arcs and book haul, and I really loved this page. It was one of my favorites to set up in this theme. And that is the final look of the reading log for March, and then straight into April. If you followed me last year, you might be wondering where the stats pages are. I mentioned it before that I took them out. They are in the other journal, so we'll get to see them in a moment. But let's close this one up and move into the reading data journal. This is my prize and joy for the year. I'm really glad I have it. You may have seen me setting it up. I did have a little bit of a series. I will zoom in a little bit for you guys because this book's a little bit smaller. Yeah, I had a series. I don't think I finished it because unfortunately my mum got incredibly ill last year, but we won't go into that. But I'm so glad that I finally get to share it with you guys now with the information in it and get to use it in real time. We're in the global section at the front here, which is the series tracker. I also have a owned TBR, which is completely blank. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I'm so thrilled with this series tracker. It's working really well. I'm already done with this first 2-page spread, adding on new series. I do think I was, where was I? I think I was up to here, somewhere around here. When I very first started. Yes, here's the first series of the year. So I only had that much space, so considering that's all I've added on for the year, and these are all outstanding series, very happy. And as you can see by the color code down here, finish is this little dark red color here going on, and I've managed to complete 5 series, and that has worked towards my goals for the year, so I'm really thrilled about that. And I do have extra pages, as you can see with the tabs down here. This journal is hopefully going to last me until 2027, the end of 2027, so definitely have enough room to add in some more series as we go. And I'm really happy with how this is looking so far, and it's working, and I can't wait to fill it in a little bit more. Like I mentioned, it's completely blank. So the owned TBR is something that I want to track really desperately every year, and I always struggle with it. I think it's going to work once I've filled it in. However, I need to fill it in, and I always dread that process because I have quite a lot of books on my shelf. Most of them are finished, and I don't know why I title this owned TBR when it should be owned collection or something along those lines, because that's exactly what this page is. It's just where I jot down the books that I own and when I finish them, or if I don't end up reading them, when I unhauled them. That's literally all I do. And so yeah, we've got quite a lot of pages again for this one, and it's not being utilized, so I definitely need to get onto that. Let's hope by the end of Q2 that is done. I do have this blank page here because this book did come to me broken, and the team where I got it from were fantastic and fixed that problem for me, but I left this page like this, and I think I might just glue them together just for a bit more stability because that page is a bit wonky. But I did think, oh, maybe I should leave a blank space just in case. This is the 2025 portion of the 𝓤𝓼𝓷𝓭 journal, and I'm really happy with it. This is the cover page that we set up together in the series, and this is the first page of the year at a glance. As you can see, it's working fabulously for me. I really love this. It's a quick way to see what days I finished a book on, and the colour code is the same as the star ratings code. And we've got the rest of the months here to fill in. And then these are, this page is not new to me. This is the DNFs and rereads. I've actually completed my first reread of the year, but that's an April thing. So again, everything is just waiting for me to pick it up once I've finished filming this. And this is where I'm marking down all the DNFs. I think that I DNF more frequently than some people, because I don't see the point in wasting my time reading books that I'm not enjoying. Sometimes though, it's really good to push through because you end up really enjoying a book, but most of the time I know when not to. So this list I am expecting to fill up a bit this year, but I'm glad that it's only at this level at the end of quarter 1. This is a new page for me, and several pages afterwards are the same. As you can see, I did a whole bunch of boxes. It took a long time, but this is something that I wanted to have not only as a visual, but also for the information that I was gathering in different ways this year. So books by ratings is very self-explanatory. I've got my star rating code down here. Really enjoying this page. It's working extremely well. And then on here we've got books by genres and books by format. And the format page is working exceptionally well as well. I love this key. I've just used the same colors but mixed them up, and the keys are all down here. But I really love the information this is giving me. Obviously I read a lot of ebooks, that's that color there. But this one here, the books by genres, I think that this needed to be simplified, because for the longest time I've always only counted books by the main genre. So fantasy, romance, paranormal sometimes I would use, sci-fi I hardly use, but I would have it. I mainly just read fantasy and or romance. So I never needed a reason to break it up. This year I decided, because I wanted to have different colors as well, to have a lot of different other elements, and it's not working for me as well as I would like. I wish I had left it perhaps just tracking by like romance and like contemporary romance, historical romance, fantasy as a broad one, and then romantasy, because you know a lot of them are just romantasy. But of course I had a niche ones like cozy fantasy, gothic fantasy. The issue here is it can be cozy fantasy but also romantasy. So that's where I've been struggling with this one. Next year I will change that. So flipping on from this one, we've got one more left as the books by length. Loving this one as well. It's working really well. Showing that I read a lot of books that are between 301 and 400 pages. So on to the reading goals side. Majority of the use of this page has just been to fill in the social media section. I have kind of held off from actively seeking out goals whilst I am on track to finish 20 series started before 2025, because I am a quarter way through. We are a quarter of the way through the year. It works out well. A lot of these have been kind of on the back burner. I just want to kind of get my foot in the door and then think about these later on in the year. I have completed this one here, so that is good, but again that is an April thing, so we'll have to wait till then. And I did make a slight change. I mentioned this in another video that I felt my original goal of 93% was a bit ambitious for my percentage at NetGalley, so I have lowered it to 90, and I feel that's a lot more achievable, because these goals aren't meant to be too challenging, they're just meant to be guiding me. So we'll look at this one hopefully in the mid-year flip through and see if anything has been ticked off by then. The stats omnibus is one page that a lot of people have commented on and said that they really enjoy, and I do as well. I really love this table. It's massive, but it's a lot of fun. There are a couple of areas that next year I won't be adding on, such as readathon and buddy read. I think I will swap them out for like part of a series and standalone instead, but otherwise this information has been great. I can look at a glance what I need to know, and it's been vital from filling in other areas of this journal, which I'll get to in a moment. So the last two pages are the library savings and the eArc station for this portion of tracking before the stats pages, and I know this is also stats information, but I'm trying to divide it in my head to make sense. And on the side here with the library savings has been kind of interesting to fill in. I didn't anticipate it to be this way, but I have been reading books that are tandem reads where I will own the book physically, and then I will pick up the audiobook and listen to them through Libby. So I have been hiring out books, but I already own them, so I wouldn't pay extra. So it's been interesting to try and figure out which those would be and which wouldn't be, and how much it will all add up to. But otherwise, I'm really enjoying this page, and I can't wait to see what the total will be at the end of the year that I saved. And then on the eArc side, we've got my NetGalley percentage, which, as you can see, has remained at 90 or above. And then this little tracker here initially had a different tracking information here. I wanted to track books from NetGalley and then also from Book Sirens, because I was receiving them now and then from there, but I decided to no longer support Book Sirens at the start of the year, so I changed this to street teams. Now I keep forgetting that though, because this means author or other, and I have to keep fixing things because I keep putting the wrong things down. So it has been a little bit messy, but I am enjoying this tracking system, and I think it's going to force me to track properly on my Notion, so I have this information at a glance, so then I can put it in here. I know it's a bit repetitive when you track digitally as well as in a journal, but I actually find it good because it means that I retain the information a bit more, because just on a screen I can look at it and go, oh yeah, that's there, but then I'll forget about it in 5 minutes, whereas if I've written it down, then I've retained it in a different way. That's how I learn, so that's how I do things. And then we're into the stats pages. So normally I would have a 2-page spread in my large B5 journal, and I realized that that was just really wasteful. So I now am able to condense each month down onto 1 page and get all the information that I need down. Some of it is repetitive from the table, but I find it really easy to have it all in one place. It helped out a lot the other day when I was setting up the Q1 stats page. So yeah, really enjoying that. I've brought back the collages instead of writing out all the titles like that. It's a little bit of decoration to an otherwise quite functional page. And then here we have the March stats page, and I went and put the Q1 stats beside it. Originally I was going to do all 12 stats pages and then the quarterly flip throughs, but I think it makes sense to have them all bulked in the one section where they belong, so it's tracking exactly the quarter and then the overall stats of that quarter, and then we can move on to Q2. So really happy with this. I like the visual element of this page. There are a couple of elements that I didn't exactly like at the end, but overall I had a lot of fun setting this page up, and that is the last page set up in this journal. So that means we've now reached the end of this flip through. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I am so grateful for you to sit and listen to me chat on about these journals. Let me know if there's any thought processes that you may have that might help me in the future. I'm always open to that information, and I hope that these flip throughs may have helped you look into my journal and think maybe that's something that you would like to include in yours, or or just information that you're interested in. I really enjoy doing these. Like I said at the start of the video, it's one of my favorites to film and see how that information is serving me or not, and just taking a look and setting myself up for the next quarter. I know that I'm already in quarter 2 because I'm filming this at the end of April, but you get what I mean. So thank you again for spending some time with me. Until we next meet, I hope you have fun journaling or reading, and I will see you in my next video sometime soon. Bye everyone.